guys, what's going on? It's Ash here coming at you today in Raid Shadow Legends. I am joined by Cirilla. So today we're going to react to the Raid Shadow Legends YouTube video that was released on their official channel. We're going to play the entire thing here and kind of pause and react to the new announcements here. I will say this to kind of preface this video and this reaction to you guys. Not a lot new from the time that we did the long 45-minute interview with Cirilla. As a matter of fact, she shared a lot more information about some of the things she talks about. However, there are a few things that we get a little bit more clarity on and a kind of a new thing that she mentions as well. So without further ado, let's go ahead and react to this stuff. I'm going to make myself a little bit smaller and I'm going to put myself over here. So here we go.
Hey everyone, welcome to our very first Raid Q&A video. A short video covering things we've been working on, telling you a little bit about our plans and answering some of your most frequently asked questions. So let's get into those. The first one, will the requirement to get Lydia change when you add the new faction? Short answer, most probably yes, but there's no reason to panic. Some of you may already know that our next new faction will be based on a lot of Eastern Asian influences. And
Samurai. I think that she already mentioned this on my video with her. The next new faction is going to be a, don't hold me to this, but this is what they said in that video, is going to be a Saito-like samurai fashion. Saito is undead, so he's just an example of a dead one of those samurais. So she says, based on Eastern Asian influence, it makes perfect sense.
unlike all other factions, they're gonna have their own crypt in faction wars, eventually. We'll be gradually adding new champions to the faction over time, so we won't actually open the crypt for them until we've added enough champions to make it completable. So the requirements for Lydia won't change in the near future, and we will let you know far in advance before the new faction is added to the list of those.
So they're going to add the faction war crypts after there's enough faction, or actually, excuse me, enough champions in those factions, the samurai faction, for example, to make it doable. Makes sense.
Question 2. What are your future plans for the Doom Tower? The Doom Tower is supposed to work in rotations, with every rotation switching up the bosses, mobs, and secret rooms. As you might be able to see in-game right now, this current one is named after the Frost Spider, because she's the final boss. The next rotation will have another boss, and so on. However, since this was our very first Doom Tower release, we realized we've got a bit more fine-tuning and tweaking to do on the current rotation. With your help, we have also come up with a whole list of improvements we want to make for the next one. And we're gonna hold off on releasing that until we think it's ready. Right now, we are looking at releasing the next rotation in a few months, maybe April, maybe sooner, so keep an eye out for news on that.
Okay, so Doom Tower, to add a little bit more clarity, guys, to the Doom Tower points that she makes, right? So she mentioned in my video, in case you don't want to, go watch the 45-minute video, she mentioned, well, reading between the lines, she didn't say this outright, but just the sense that I got, it was going to see making it a little bit more difficult. I don't know if that's a buff, I guess buff to the Doom Tower. I got the sense that they're going to make it a little bit more difficult. I think they were a little bit taken aback and surprised by the number of people who were able to complete either normal or hard difficulty. But again, that might not be a direct buff to all of the bosses. I think, and I could be totally wrong here, this is just my guess, this is not, me reading between the lines, but I think that they're going to leave the bosses relatively the same, but make the waves a little bit more challenging. She did express the use of Seer on almost all the dungeon waves to be a bit one-dimensional in terms of the popular strategy being used. So I would say there's going to be either, I don't think there's going to be a nerf to Seer. I could be wrong. There could be a nerf to Seer. But I think there might be a buff to make it so that Karma Burn doesn't just kill everybody. I have no idea. Maybe that just means upping their resistance on all the buffers. I don't know. But my sense is that it will be a little bit more difficult. Again, I don't want to be the bearer of bad news. Don't blame the messenger. It's just my gut instinct on this one. What do you guys think? Do you think they're going to make it easier or make it harder?
Third question. Did you guys forget about the dwarves? Why do the undead hordes get all the new epics and legendaries? Our development path for planning, designing, balancing, and releasing champions is pretty long. It's something we try to plan well in advance, and there's usually a long line of champions in development at any time. That's why you've been seeing a lot of undead horde champions popping up all over the place, along with other champions from older factions. However, we haven't forgotten the dwarves. Don't worry, we know they need some new blood. We've actually just released 2 new epic dwarves, and we're also bringing out 2 more epics and a new dwarf legendary in February. On top of that, we've got another 14 in development right now that we hope will bring the faction up a level.
So 14 dwarves in development, 1 legendary coming this month, 1 dwarf legendary coming this month. Boy, I hope it's a fragment summon, right? Fingers crossed on that one, and I hope it doesn't take 1,000,000 books. Lately, one question they didn't ask, but I'm actually going to scroll through the comments and we can react to the comments together as well, guys. One question that I'm going to ask is, what's up with the books lately, right?
Next question. Do you have any answers to the duplicate champions issue? This is probably our most asked question, and it's also probably the hardest one to answer. We are currently working on and testing a few different concepts for this, but it's a biggie, and we want to make sure we get it right. It could have a huge impact on the game, positive or negative. So we are not avoiding it, we are just being thorough. Or negative.
Was there anything on here?
Impact on the game, impact on the game, positive or negative. So we are not avoiding it, we are just being thorough. Right now, our top priority is to figure this out in the first half of this year. As soon as we have a clearer idea of the direction we're gonna go with, we'll let you know. And last question. Gearing champions is hard.
The first half of the year, does that mean they'll figure it out in the first half of the year? Or does that mean we'll have it in the first half of the year, right? That's the million-dollar question. They can figure it out and then take another year to develop it. Who knows, right? I don't want to be super, pessimistic about it, but that was a little bit, a lot of it, I don't know. We didn't really learn much from that answer, to be honest, right? If we have the feature in the next 5 months, first half of the year, if the feature is in game and that's communicated to us in the next month or two, I'm happy with that. Like, I can live with that. 5 months goes by pretty fast, so.
And takes a lot of silver. Do you have any plans to fix that? We do. We're currently testing 3-4 different ideas to reduce the overall silver demands. And we'll let you know once we figure out the best way to deal with it. We're also looking to make regearing your champions a little easier to manage. We're currently working on an armory feature that lets you preview a new selected artifact set and compare it with the champion's currently equipped artifacts. This will show you exactly how your builds stack up and help you decide whether to keep or swap out your artifacts for new ones. And that's everything. If you have questions or suggestions...
Okay, so that's it, guys. That's all we have. So what do you guys think about it overall? Like I said, not a ton in terms of new information there, but at the same time, we don't want to make the mistake, just to be fair to Plarium here, we don't want to make the mistake that, everybody is as informed. Everybody saw my video and Hades' interview with her, right? Obviously, the majority of the player base doesn't watch YouTube. So I think that because there's an in-game link to this video, I understand why they did it. Of course, it's easy to get on here and complain about there's no new information. But at the end of the day, too, keep in mind that most players don't visit Reddit. Most players don't visit the forums. Most players don't regularly watch YouTube. So I see why they did it. I think it's a good move. Honestly, again, might be an unpopular thing to say, but I do think that more communication is always a good thing. The amount of silver required to remove and switch artifacts from champions is too much. It should be reduced or not at all. We know that. We agree with that. We can give it a big thumbs up. We can give it a +1. Next. Answers all the questions while avoiding them. We are thinking about. We will let you know. We are testing it. Are they going to fix the silver issue with that tool that the community already has on the website or Excel sheets? We don't need an armory. Actually, I would argue we do need an armory, with all due respect to Agustino Silva. I think that, there's a lot of clan boss tools out there, Deadwood Jedi, there's Artifact, which is a great tool on Hell Hades' website. But at the same time, I like to have these tools, personally, this is my personal opinion, I'd still like to have these tools in game. Should they be a huge priority for the dev team? No. But are these quality of life filter artifacts and sample the best artifacts for each champion to have that in the game? Is it good? Generally speaking, I think it's a good thing. Just stop asking for just stop asking for silver to remove gear. Should be that simple. Gear is already mine. Why would I have to pay to swap it around? Also, glyphs shouldn't have a failed upgrade. That's one of the most annoying things in the whole game. You need to farm for them, pay for them, and then upgrade them. What madness, what madness. Okay, I agree with him on the silver part, right? I think that at the end of the day, this is the comment I was looking for here. There's a major lack of books. We need more books from rare to legendary. I know a lot of players are debating leaving the game because they can't book their champions other than spending tons of money. We'll give that a big fat thumbs up because that is the one thing they didn't address in this video that I was really hoping they would have, right? I mean, ultimately, we need books. I think silver and books are the big things, right? So let's leave a comment right now. The one question that wasn't addressed in this video was books. We need some help. We need a viable way is what we need. We need a viable way to farm books in the game without having to buy them or win them from special events and missions. I think that's very clear, right? Otherwise, you know me, guys, always try to be positive. A life tip: Always give negative feedback mixed with positive feedback, and then the reader will be more receptive to it. So if you don't like it, that's cool, but I think it's human psychology. Otherwise, appreciate the communication. Keep it coming. Boom. There we go. All right. So we leave a little negative, a little positive, and we thumbs up our own comments. YouTube tip number 2. All right. Let's read a couple more here, guys. When are the answers? When are the answers to this Q&A coming out? We will give the LOL on that one. That was pretty funny because honestly, there wasn't a lot. She didn't even talk about the void rebalancing, right? Not to sound rude or anything, but we really need a solution for books in silver. It's books in silver, books in silver, books in silver, right? Let's be honest. Fragment summons, this guy says. John Sebastian Vega. Right now, there are only a few ones that you can complete at any time. Doom Tower ones and Drexstar, which is cool. However, the other fragment summons, once the retrospective events of each of them are over, they remain forever. Hopefully waiting for a completion. You know what? It would be good to have some kind of feature that allows you to get universal fragments so you can complete the ones that, you know what, this is a fantastic idea. This is a fantastic idea, guys. You know what? This is one of my favorite. It's something that, you know, we rightfully so spend so much time talking about books in silver right now. Again, 100% agree. But this is something that I have often wondered when I'm playing the game, right? What's up with the fragments? You can see them all. They're taunting you. All the ones that you didn't complete. And I've seen like once or twice that you can buy them in the shop as well, like as a special offer, buy those fragments. Why not throw them all in the bazaar? Give us a reason to play some tag team arena, Plarium. You know what I'm saying? Great point here. I love that I'm commenting on the video. That's kind of weird. When will there be an option to disable the pop-up offers? Let's go ahead and just say #never. Anything else? Anything else? This one has a lot absolutely useless answers. You didn't even give any direct answers to the questions. Here's the thing, right? Like, this is a fair comment. I'm not sitting here trying to defend Plarium on this one. It's fair. But at the end of the day, it's like to my point earlier, there's a lot of players who might not have known there's a new faction coming. There's a lot of players who might not have known that there's any, you know, plans at all. No, we don't know what they are, of course. They didn't answer any of those questions to his point. But they might not have known that there is a plan for dupes coming in the next 5 months or whatever. But at the end of the day, and there might not be people, you're right. You know what? Here I am trying to make a fair case, like looking at both sides. But she didn't give any information about Doom Tower. No information about dupes. No information about the silver shortage. No information about books. I guess there's a new dwarf Lego coming. She did give us that. That's new. Nothing about the void rebalancing. Didn't name the new faction, even though she said it was going to be a samurai on my video. So I think at the end of the day, it's great to see communication. This guy says the best solution for dupes is to give the option to re-roll if you get a dupe legendary. I don't know if that's the best, but it's definitely better than what we have, right? I think that you could always fuse 3 legendaries into a new legendary. That way it's a permanent feature, or 3 duplicates of, or 2 duplicates of any champion. I don't know. You know what? This is probably the best solution probably is to re-roll once, but then if you re-roll another dupe, then what happens, right? Anyway, guys, I think at the end of the day, I'm going to leave it with this one. I'm going to leave it with this. It was an underwhelming Q&A, let's be real. But at the same time, I'm really optimistic about 2021 inside Raid Shadow Legends. Fix the dupes, fix the books, fix the silver. The big 3. We made a whole video talking about the big 3. I still love the game right now, but on my free-to-play account especially, it is making it absolutely evident how big of an issue these 3 things are, especially for me right now, especially the silver and the books. Dupes are nice, but I don't even have a legendary yet on my free-to-play, right? And if you guys missed my last free-to-play video, I'll link it in the description below, along with the Cirilla interview, and you'll see that I announced that I'm quitting my main account. Not really, kind of, but I'm playing 90% of my time on my new free-to-play account. In case you guys missed that news and want to hear why, that video awaits you in the description below. Guys, thank you so much for watching, and as always, take care, guys.